Guten Tag, meine Damen und Herren, Mist passiert, back with another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes commentary video, and today I am really excited to follow through on my promise of delivering 2 new character kits coming to Galaxy of Heroes. Now, we all know that Solo is right around the corner, and honestly, I had my expectations kind of tempered, especially after The Last Jedi, which it was, I can't lie, I'm still kind of meh about it, in all honesty. So, Solo obviously kind of wanted to make sure that I wasn't setting myself up for complete disappointment, so I'm kind of trying to temper my expectations, trying not to get too excited, although a lot of the later trailers that I've seen, I'm getting a little more excited each and every day. I'm actually going to go see it opening weekend. I'm pretty stoked, already have tickets. I'm gonna go see it. Star Wars fan. I mean, even though I wasn't a big fan of The Last Jedi, I did go out and buy it. I have it on DVD, Blu-ray, whatever, just because it's kind of like, you know, you can't not have a Star Wars movie if you're a Star Wars fan. Even if you didn't really like it, you still have it, right? It's just part of being a fan, right? Okay. Anyway, so we are getting 2 new characters right now. I do not know, nor do I have any idea how many characters will actually come once the movie is out, once everything is said and done. I do not know how many characters we will get from Solo, but what I can say is this. We are getting another Chewbacca. I know you were expecting me to say Han, weren't you? Yeah. Well, don't knock yourself too far, because we are getting another Han Solo as well. But we're going to talk about Han second, because, you know, you gotta save the best for last. Or is he? First up, Chewbacca. His new in-game name is going to be Vandor Chewbacca. Now, obviously, he's going to be a light side. He's going to be Scoundrel. But they're also adding a new faction tag, Smuggler, which has obviously some implications, right? We're probably not going to see the end of the Smuggler faction with just these 2 characters, so that makes me pretty excited about what might be in store for the rest of the characters coming from this movie. I'm pretty excited. So his basic ability is called Unchained, and it deals physical damage to a target enemy. If it is Chewbacca's turn, he also gains advantage for 2 turns. This attack ignores defense. Ignoring defense without any % chance of ignoring defense is really awesome. That means that he's going to be cutting through tanks like Swiss cheese. Assuming that this does decent damage, which he's Chewbacca, he's a Wookiee. He'll rip your arms off. I would hope that his basic does at least a little bit of damage, right? Okay. But anyway, he also gains advantage for 2 turns, which implies that if he's not using his basic with an assist, that it will give him advantage. So if he's assisting, he's not going to be getting advantage for 2 turns. That's perfectly all right. I like that mechanic. It's cool. It's clean, and it keeps it from being too overpowered. Now, his first special ability is called Freedom Fighter, and it has a 4-turn cooldown. It deals physical damage based on Chewbacca's max health instead of his attack damage, which is interesting, to the target enemy, twice. Target other ally recovers health equal to 50% of the damage dealt. Then Chewbacca and target other ally gain protection up for 2 turns. This is very important to remember. Target other ally gains protection up. This will be important for when we get to Han's kit. If Chewbacca has the prepared buff, which we are not sure whether this is going to be cleansable, whether it's going to be incapable of being cleansed, we're not sure. That much is not clear in the kit that we've received. But if Chewbacca is prepared, he deals double damage for this attack, recovers health equal to 50% of the damage dealt, reduces the ability's cooldown by 2, and grants all prepared allies protection up 30% for 2 turns. Then Chewbacca is no longer prepared. So This new mechanic, Prepared, brings a whole new angle to how these characters, I'm assuming smugglers, are going to work, and how they're going to interact with their allies, and how they're going to work with each other. So there are ways for other allies other than Chewbacca and Han to gain the Prepared buff, and I'm assuming that the other smugglers that we see in the future, which remains to be seen, this Prepared mechanic is going to be very interesting to see how it evolves and how it interacts with other teams, and how you can find teams to build around this protection and protection up and Prepared status effect. That will be, I'm sure, the topic of many discussions to come. His unique, Chewbacca's unique one, he has two uniques, the Beast. Chewbacca has minus 40% max protection, but plus 80% max health. In addition, all enemies deal negative 25% damage while Chewbacca is buffed. That's so wild. Like, the way that this unique works is going to completely change the methodology behind the common modding that goes into tanks. You're probably not going to really want to buff him, or mod him for protection, but then again, that may be the way you want to mod him. But that remains to be seen. So, because you have all these protection up, and protection up is based off of, I believe protection up is based off of your overall protection. So 40% of 20,000 protection obviously is going to be a lot more than 40% of 15,000 protection, but that remains to be seen how it works. So then his unique 2, Ferocious Protector. While Chewbacca is buffed, he has 40%. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm reading the base of this ability. His final, which has a Zeta, by the way. Which adds, I'll get to how the Zeta affects his unique in just a sec, but the final text of his second unique, which is called Ferocious Protector, reads, while Chewbacca is buffed, he has a 100% counter chance. At the end of each turn, if any ally took damage from an attack and Chewbacca did not, he recovers protection equal to 10% of his max health, and other Scoundrel allies recover half that amount. When Chewbacca recovers to max protection this way, he becomes Prepared. There you go, that's how he gains the Prepared status effect. When another light side Scoundrel ally is defeated, revive that ally at 60% health if Chewbacca is prepared. Then Chewbacca is no longer prepared. So there are two ways that Chewbacca can lose the Prepared buff. The Zeta adds the text that contains the effect where if a light side Scoundrel ally is defeated, revive that ally at 60% health if Chewbacca is prepared. So keep in mind, other light side Scoundrels include Lando Calrissian, the version that we have in the game, Hans of all sorts and types, so all 4 other Han Solos in the game, and then you also have both other Chewbaccas. So that is going to be one thing to keep in mind, that there are several other light side Scoundrels in the game that can make use of this unique. Moving on to young Han Solo. Oh, actually, let's go back to that Zeta, or that unique ability again. Notice that if Chewbacca did not take any damage, which, by the way, he's a tank who doesn't have a hard taunt, so he may or may not actually get hit by attacks from the enemy team, which means that he may actually be getting the bonus or effect from this unique more often than you'd think. So, gaining protection equal to 10% of his max health. So, if you choose not to mod Chewbacca for protection, and instead mod him heavily for health, then he could be maxing out that protection very often, which means he's going to gain prepared more often. So that may actually be the strategy behind his 2 uniques working in unison. Moving on to Han Solo. We'll leave the theory crafting for another video. Young Han Solo is the name of this Han Solo. Quite fitting, seeing how the movie is based on young Han Solo. I mean, it's what else were they going to name him, right? Any rate, so his alignment, obviously light side. He is a scoundrel, he's a smuggler, and he is an attacker. His basic ability is called Trick Shot. It deals physical damage to a target enemy and inflicts speed down for 2 turns. Han becomes prepared if the target was below 50% turn meter. Talking about Han Solo's basic ability here for a second. This is going to be how he becomes prepared, which will be important when we get to his second special ability. His first special ability, Upper Hand, has a 2-turn cooldown, which means that thing can be used every other turn. Han gains Protection Up and Retribution for 2 turns. Han also gains plus 50 speed for the rest of the encounter. Not the rest of the battle, but the rest of the encounter, which means it will reset at the start of each wave if you're using him in light side territory battles. This effect can stack up to 200 speed, which means that if you only got to use this ability 4 times before you're maxing it out at 200 speed, which is just, it's going plaid, to crack a joke that some of you might get. His second special ability, Just in Time, is a 3-turn cooldown, deals physical damage to the target enemy. This attack deals 25% more damage for each other prepared ally. Target other ally recovers protection equal to 50% of damage dealt. If young Han Solo is prepared, target other ally becomes prepared, and Han Solo is no longer prepared. So you can use this ability to pass off Han Solo's prepared to another ally. All prepared allies then gain critical damage up for 1 turn, and Han recovers protection equal to 50% of the damage dealt. I mean, imagine if that ability does like 30,000 damage, right? On a good critical hit, which means stacking this Han with crit damage may end up being the way to go. You're giving other allies on your team 15,000 protection, which is pretty substantial. His first unique, Ready for Anything. When Han starts his turn with Protection Up, he gains 10% offense, stacking, and 10% crit chance, stacking, until the end of the battle. This stat persists through waves. While prepared, Han has a 70% chance to assist another Scoundrel ally's attack during their turn, limited once per turn. This ability also has a Zeta upgrade, and that Zeta upgrade is the little bit about when Han is prepared, he has a 70% chance to assist another Scoundrel ally's attack during their turn, limited to once per turn. So, and this is other Scoundrels, not other smugglers, which means that teaming him up with Rancor Han Solo is going to, oh my gosh, it's gonna be crazy, guys. I'm really excited to see how all these Han Solos work together. I feel like maybe they knew that we were gonna run a 5 Han Solo squad, and they just wanted to see how it would all work together. And I'm afraid to see how that interaction is going to play out. Now, remember when we talked about Chewbacca and his ability that gave target other ally protection up? Using Han Solo and Chewbacca together, having Chewbacca give Han Solo protection up, and then at the start of Han Solo's turn, he gains the bonus crit chance and offense, is going to be definitely a nice little 1-2 punch with the new little synergy that they've got going on. I don't know about you guys, but these kits are awesome. I'm very excited to get my hands on these characters and really start playing with them. Speaking of which, hopefully I should have these characters and be able to actually play test them with the 2 Scoundrel, or with the few Scoundrels that we have in game. Really see how this prepared mechanic works, and then see if these guys can really do some damage, especially against the Traya meta. That's going to be one thing that we really want to test. Otherwise, I definitely want to get these guys into territory battles and see what they can do with light side territory battles, especially young Han Solo, with that ability that he's got to stack offense and crit chance until the end of battle. On that note, guys, thanks for watching. Like, favorite, subscribe. Check me out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm always hanging out on social media if I'm not on YouTube. And keep on gaming, and I'll catch you next time.